CNN is on a mission, possible, convincing the American people that Joe Biden was a better president than Donald Trump. But is that true? In this video, we're going to expose everything about CNN and how it's trying to convince the people. An impossible mission to accomplish. From scandals to health, everything CNN is doing to hide the disaster of the Biden administration.
I think leaving in disgrace is when you have an insurrection at the Capitol. Like, that's leaving in disgrace. Being impeached twice is leaving in disgrace. So that's a difference. I think Joe Biden's going to be remembered in the short term for what you were talking about, whether or not he had the capacity to lead, who knew what when. I mean, there are many people outside of the very small network of Anita Dunn and Valerie Biden Owens and Jill Biden and Hunter. There aren't many people who knew the concerns that were there or whether or not he was up or fit for the job. And so those questions will be asked. Over the long term, this is somebody a lot like Mitch McConnell. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything they stood for. You don't have to agree with every vote, but you always knew they put the American people first.
Look, a lot of us tend to forget that Joe Biden was actually in office for a very long time. He made some good decisions, he made some bad decisions, but he's always been rather moderate, and all of a sudden, he just decided to change. He was never for this totally open border policy. In fact, he has always said, and he got a lot of flack for it, we cannot keep our borders as open as they are. Anyway, this next clip is another CNN moment where Scott Jennings is pointing out more things that Joe Biden did wrong because Joe Biden was asked in an interview, do you have any regrets in your presidency?
I mean, he should have never run for re-election. Mike is exactly right. When he got asked about regrets, the fact that he didn't say, I regret that 13 American service members lost their lives in Afghanistan, to me, that he can't muster the courage to say that now is a disgrace. Beyond that, he's leaving office in disgrace. I mean, you got less than 20% of the American people now that think the country's on the right track. That's a lower number than it even was on Election Day. And what's happened since Election Day? He pardoned his son, Hunter. He commuted the sentences of a bunch of evil killer thugs on federal death row. Not all of them, just the ones that he wanted to. Didn't even make a principled stand on that. And then he went on vacation. This is a failed, disgraced president. And he has never, ever owned up to what happened in Afghanistan and the role that that played in destroying those families' lives and destroying his own presidency.
So I think Donald Trump needs to say, I'm sorry that 1 million people died in COVID while I was telling people to shine light in their bodies and take disinfectant.
That's false.
No, that's exactly what he said.
He
said you should shine light in your own body.
Again,
right?
I'll go through this with you guys.
And take disinfectant.
All right, we can fact check
He needs to say he's sorry for that.
He speculated about the effect of light on the virus and disinfectant.
Right. While the doctors stood
Publicly,
behind him.
And you know what? People told us to stand 6 feet apart and wear masks, and that didn't exactly solve anything.
Another attempt to compare Biden to Donald Trump, but the truth is that Biden is leaving a legacy of failure. It's failure after failure. While the interview, he tries to downplay Biden's mistakes. Scott Jennings doesn't hold back and exposes the whole truth. How long is CNN going to try to hide this? So guys, do you think Biden was a good president? Keep watching and check out the scandals and failures of the Biden administration that CNN doesn't want you to know.
But Joe Biden's record with regard to the things that he's accomplished, I think will stand the test of time. Now, what my dear friend Scott and others will talk about, and quite frankly, I'm going to say this, rightfully so, it was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he's still, he showed up for the job. He got the work done. I think some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Well, there were more than
including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave office in disgrace. The Hunter Biden pardon was disgraceful. He's going to be remembered largely for inflation and for the disastrous Afghanistan pullout. And I think as we continue to, we're just getting the first draft of this now, but as we continue to learn about the massive cover-up that went on, not about his health, but about his mental acuity, to cover that up, the efforts that were undertaken by the White House staff, by his family, not in the last couple of months, but for all 4 years, I think it's going to be a really ugly chapter. It's a diminished presidency because of it. And I think we still don't know the full extent of what they did to try to hide what they've been doing over in the West Wing.
Another attempt by the media to try to gloss over the Biden administration. The interviewee tries to highlight supposed achievements, but look at what happened. Watch now and see this narrative that Biden is in control. But the truth is about to be revealed.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game. So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
Aha!
He's wise.
Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable to this country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is hard for us to keep up with this president.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
And this kind of sense that he's not ready for this job is just a bucket of BS that's so deep, your boots will get stuck in.
As you can see, the media is trying to paint Joe Biden as a hero, but the truth has already come to light. And here in these videos, you were able to see everything. But leave in the comments what you think the media is trying to make people believe. Well, that was the video for now. Thank you all so much. Just don't forget to share, leave your like to support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Thank you all so much. See you at our next meeting.